we've talked about earlier before the taping of this interview. 4 years ago, you ran for lieutenant governor on the Democratic side. Now you're running as a Republican. We've seen candidates do that before, change parties, but you're not necessarily changing parties because you believe hardcore principles of Republican. You believe certain things Republicans believe, but you still like certain things that Democrats believe.
Right.
Tell us about what sets you apart from a candidate, you know, that you're not just running the party line in this campaign, that there are ideas everyone can share in.
I brought up his name earlier. I don't know how else to do it. Ron Paul, who I've been following a lot, has really, you know, in the media has been attacked in different ways, but one of the kind of steadfast things that he has is he says unpopular things on a pretty regular basis, but he's believed them for a good long time. And it's more the candidate, but he's in a party with a lot of part of the platform that doesn't necessarily match up with what he's doing. And I think, like you hinted at, I've got the same issues where I think government in some respects should be run more like a business. That doesn't mean privatize things, but have the government representatives at the DMV, for instance, be afraid that consumers that are there today might not come back again in 2 or 3 years if we don't treat them correctly. And it can be problematic to get the methodologies in place to gear up and have our governmental employees treat taxpayers the same way that a business does that's pining for their business again. But on the Republican side, I kind of like that. And then on the Democratic side, where you know, a certain level of safety net, as we talk about it, if someone gets hit by a bus on the way out of the studio here and their feet are cut off and maybe they didn't have insurance, and I think a lot of Republicans then turn into Democrats when something befalls them that's that drastic, right? So I see a lot from both parties, and I think that as long as the ideas and the platform that the candidate has remain constant, that's really what's most important. And unfortunately, since there's majorly a two-party system in Missouri, you kind of have to look at the landscape and say, look, you know, this election cycle, you know, I think that my ideas are going to work better in the Democratic primary or the Republican. So I could see being in 2 or 3 different primaries in the course of the next 10 years because my ideas might have a better chance of, you know, ascending to the office.
You'd almost favor just wiping out the little letter next to the candidate's name and just run on issues only, not party.
Right. It should be. They should all be nonpartisan. The judicial campaign that I won down in Wentzville, Missouri, was nonpartisan. And I don't really know, I haven't historically done the research on it, but I don't really know how the Republicans and Democrats got to where it's the R's and D's that